Hello everyone, I'm back, and today's lesson we're going to talk about classroom management. Under classroom management, we have the CHAMPS method, we have classroom rules, spatial temporal analysis, but for today we're just only focusing on CHAMPS method. So, classroom management is one of the most important aspects when it comes to teaching because no matter how smart you are as a teacher, how great your strategies, how engaging your activity, but you're not able to execute those activities or you're not able to pass on those knowledge essentially because the class is very rowdy, students are loitering, students everywhere. Yeah, noisy, rowdy, fighting. So it's it's very significant for a teacher, an inspiring teacher, to know how to handle a class with different kinds of learner, a class that has like large number of disadvantaged students or differently able students. Also, our kind of class that are like more than 30 students, how to handle like adult learners or young learners. Classroom management is one of the most, or I think the most important skill that you have to actually master when you're teaching. So this is my favorite CHAMP method by Henry Wong. CHAMP method essentially stands for C conversation. It's an acronym: C for conversation, H for help, A for activity, M for movement, P is for participation, and S is for success. Yeah, but usually I just put CHAMP here. So essentially, you use the CHAMP method. Actually, you introduce this method before you actually start the class on with your students. For example, the first day of class, you actually equip your students with CHAMP method. So what is CHAMP method? How it will be, how do you integrate actually CHAMP method into your lesson every day? So CHAMP method essentially helps you when you wanted to actually make some activity to discipline your students and also to actually carry out a smooth group class group activity or classes that requires some student-based learning. So when we say C, it means conversation. So conversation of different level 1, level 2, level 3. So when we say conversation level 1 to our student, it means an activity is done alone, yeah, or it means that they do not, that that time of that particular time of your class, they're not allowed to talk to their seatmate. Now we have level 2 conversation, which means that they could actually talk with a partner. It's a partner activity, and they can talk with, they're like two people involved in an activity. Then we have level 3, it means it's a group work. It's three or more people are allowed to talk. So this is CHAMP, C under CHAMP's method. Then we have H, help. So usually loitering happens when the students actually don't understand how they're able to actually ask for your help when they have problems, when they have problems with their writing activity, or they have problems with their listening activity, their reading activity, or activity that they should be done alone or with a partner. So when we say help one, it means you're actually telling the students that you're going to roam around and they don't need to stand up or raise their hand when they have to ask something. Help two, it means when you're actually on your table and you're doing another thing while the students are doing some activities, then they can ask questions. Yeah, so maybe in a group, one representative, or with a partner, just one one partner should come to the teacher's table and ask questions. Then we also have activity. So most of the students actually have rowdy behavior, a very noisy behavior, because sometimes the directions are not clear. So it's an activity that is they have to write down an activity? Is it a group activity? Is it something that they should be submitting before the after before the period ends, or it should have homework, some materials, objectives, or goal? So these are the things that you have to clear out. What is the objective or the goal of the activity you're doing? What are the materials involved? Do they need pencils, coloring materials, paper, and stuff like this? The direction, do they need to encircle it, to shade it? Yeah, these are the things that you have. Do they have to write it? Are all the group members of group members need to talk in front, or just one representative? Yeah. So this is activity. Then we have movement. So also, especially when you're teaching young learners, some of them, they would like to go to toilet. Even when you're high school or teenage, they want to go to toilet. They wanted to sharpen their pencil, their coloring materials. They want to draw something, and they wanted to practice if they're doing role play or drama for a much matured learner. So when we say movement, you have to tell the students that for example, you're giving deductions or demerit. If students stand up, yeah, if they do toilet time, they have to do it before the class or after the class, or maybe you can give some coupons or sheets where you hand out to the students in the beginning of the class, so to ensure that during the activity or during written oral exercise, oral activity, they don't need to go to toilet. Yeah. And when obtaining materials, so when you wanted to have an activity that you make making cards or letters, yeah, you have to tell them to bring the activities, or maybe one representative for a group. If it's a group one, or if it's an individual one, they have to actually have a time period. Yeah, for example, before you start activity, you give them 5 minutes and see to it that you have a clock. And after 5 minutes, they should not do any kind of movements, not to obtain materials. So whatever materials they have in hand, that's all. Yeah. So you have to actually be clear what kind of movement the students the student should be doing, or what movement you expect them to do. Yeah, if they have to practice for a role play or a drama. Yeah. Then we have people for participation. So it's the output, for example, it's in an individual or a class one. So the participation is that you everyone should be assigned of different role. Yeah, especially if it's a group activity. If it's an individual, so what is expected for the participation to count? Yeah. So things like this should also be involved with the CHAMP method. So it says by Henry Wong that if we follow all of this, it could lead to success. Yeah. So it's very important that when we teach our learners, be it young or adult or matured adult learners, then it's very important that they know what is the activity, what is the lesson, what are the objectives and goals, what kind of movement they could do with this activity, if their participation, um, how much grade they actually could get from that participation. Are they expected to give a written output? Are they expected to make a video or stuff like this? And also help when they have questions, how they will reach you. Will they raise their hand? Will they go to your table? Will you roam around? Yeah. So are there actually, as if they have questions, they could do it before the activity, or they could do it also when they're doing the activity and stuff like this. So it's very important for teachers to be clear on this aspect. So that's why CHAMP method is very essential, especially when you're carrying a particular activity, game, contest. Yeah. So these are the things that very simple yet very essential to maintain the classroom motivation for learning. Yeah. So thank you very much for today, and that's all for classroom management under CHAMP method. Yeah, bye.